Hey world, it's been when to come back with another video. Man, family, I hope everybody's doing well out there, especially with all this confusion, diversions, and misinformation. I mean, it's hard to stay, focused on certain things. When you know that those that supposed to be looking out for the best interests of the American people, which I think is an oxymoron. What is the American people? You got to ask yourself that question. Who do they consider the American people? Fam, I'm down here in Texas, right? And I don't know if you guys heard, but I mean, we're really the laughing stock of the nation. And if we're not the laughing stock of the nation, we should be. And anybody and everybody that call themselves voters, you got to ask yourself why. I mean, you vote for president, you vote for Congress, you vote for your state representatives and your state senators and your federal senators and your federal congressmen. For what? It's just a game, family. I mean, we get in trouble, we got to go in front of the judge. Those that are so-called politicians and so-called those that are leaders of the American people, when they get in trouble, they go in front of congressional hearings. People like Mark Zuckerberg, those over Facebook, those over Twitter, like back in the day, back in 2008, when the market crashed because all those mortgage loans that these mortgage companies, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and all these banks was giving people that they knew wouldn't be able to support that kind of loan. What did they do? When they crashed the economy, what happened? They went in front of Congress. Did anything happen to them? No. But let you have a warrant out for your arrest for a traffic ticket. Guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get arrested. And when you get arrested, and God forbid, you lose your phone, or you don't have your phone, or you have a cop that, takes your phone from you and won't let you make calls. Now you're sitting in jail waiting to go to court, right? And, you lose the time at work, you may get fired, your family's affected by it. So we are severely affected by the consequences of our actions, but those that make the laws, i.e. politicians, those that supposed to enforce the laws, i.e. the president, and those that supposed to interpret the laws, i.e. the judicial system, when something happens to them, 9 times out of 10, and also too the corporations, those that provide for us to be consumers, nothing happens to them. They go in front of Congress for a spectacle. We don't have that type of latitude. And so I think it's really disingenuous. And so just to get back to my point about how funny this stuff is, I mean, I'm in Texas, family. And all the Democratic representatives that were voted in by these people in Texas, where are they at right now? They're in Washington, D.C. because they saying, the voting laws or the voting, amendments that they want to install in Texas is worse than Jim Crow, worse than the Civil War. We're not going to do it. We got to look out for our people. When all they're basically asking for people to do is to have an ID. If you're going to vote, if you're going to mail in your votes, have proof of an ID. Come on, family. You can't get a bank account. You can't get an apartment. You can't fly. You can't do nothing without an ID. So what are they talking about? It's ludicrous. But I digress. Family. Like I say, there is power in numbers. But when the numbers are totally cognitively dissonant about what's going on politically and economically, they can do this kind of stuff. You can have the president of the United States say that the voting rights laws that are being passed right now, trying to go through Congress, is equivalent to the Civil War. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a little history and understanding that during the Civil War, it's more young men died in the Civil War than any war combined. More of us died, and we weren't even free. Speaking of Afro-melanated men. And so to use that type of analogy and say that it's not hyperbole, it tells you that they have no regard. I mean, that's why I got to ask the question, who are the American people that can't get an ID? Okay? Dr. Fauci, you've been lying about this COVID virus for 2 years. And now that you've been called out on it, guess what happened to you? Nothing. You may have to go in front of Congress. Duh, what's going to happen to you? Nothing. Remember, we go to be prosecuted. They go to just be embarrassed. Okay? Nothing happens to them, congressional hearings. It's just a sideshow. And all these senators and congressmen that want to drill these guys that they say doing wrong, nothing happened to them. They still got their paper, status. Okay, so they get embarrassed. So, but let us commit a crime of any nature. And I'm just talking running a red light and have a cop that having a bad day go to jail. Family, I'm telling you, this madness is real. This matrix is real. And I'm telling you, I can't even watch one commercial on the television without seeing this homosexual, transgender agenda thrown all in my face. I have 3 sons, young men, that I'm constantly having to tell them, listen, don't watch the television. Play your video games. And I've never been an advocate of video games, but I'd rather my sons play video games than watch the television, because I don't want them exposed to seeing men on TV kissing, all of that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, it's just, and seeing, you know, having my sons ask me, Dad, is that a woman or a man? Come on, my son shouldn't have to ask me those type of questions. And like I say, to each his own. But to have this agenda as if it's universally the majority is a ridiculous notion. Just like COVID. I mean, how they want to put us back in mass, want to pretty much shut us back down when the numbers don't even indicate that. You know, you want to force us to get vaccinations, but those that get vaccinated are still getting the COVID. So what kind of tests are they taking? And I tell you right now, family, how is it that you allow people to go to people's homes, door to door, and talk to them about getting vaccinated when you're not giving them the true knowledge of this vaccination? It's not even approved by the FDA. Haven't been through any trials. I mean, think about that. As an Afro-melanated cat, I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't forgot about the Tuskegee experiment. I haven't. And so this persistence, and if those that are vaccinated, they should be fine, because right now, and this is, I'm gonna leave you with this, family. We're about to start school, okay? And they're pretty adamant about kids, you know, having instruction face to face. 12 and under don't get vaccinated. Are they not humans? So you trying to tell me the coronavirus discriminates against age? So what about that 11-year-old that's in middle school, that's around 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds? He's safe, huh? She's safe, huh? Oh, no, that's what they said. The biggest, you know, way we can help our kids in school is get the kids that are non-vaccinated, be around kids that are vaccinated. They good. How is that the case when y'all saying that those that are vaccinated still get the coronavirus? This is ridiculous, family. And what it does, it just inundates you with so much misinformation, so much diversion, so many confusionary tactics that it's unbelievable. Okay? It's unbelievable. Family, pay yourself first. Like I said, I came with a little information about investing not too long ago. Look into closed-ended funds, look into ETFs, and look at the index funds, family. Not now, because the market is overvalued, but when the time comes, there's going to be some great opportunities out there. You're not going to be economically sufficient just working a job. When these people can take your pensions, when they dictate how much you can make after you're receiving Social Security. I mean, that's ridiculous. Family, in the meantime, between time, may the Most High Inside bring you joy, and being well is out of 5,000.